Hello everybody, this is Pastor Green. We're doing another Bible study, 2 Samuel chapter 5. If you'd like me to come speak at your church, or if you have any questions, you can comment below for your questions. If you want me to come to your church, please send me an email. 2 Samuel chapter 5. Then came all the tribes of Israel to David unto Hebron and spoke, saying, Behold, we are the bones of thy flesh. Also in times past, when Saul was king over us, that was where he brought us out of Israel. And the Lord said to there, Thou shalt feed my people Israel, and thou shalt be a captain over Israel. So all the elders of Israel came to the king in Hebron, and David made a league with them in Hebron before the Lord, and they anointed David king over Israel. David was 30 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 40 years. In Hebron he reigned over Judah 7 years and 6 months, and in Jerusalem he reigned 33 years, all over Israel and Judah. And the king and his men went to Jerusalem unto the Jebusites, the inhabitants of the land, which spoke unto David, saying, Except thou take away the blind and the lame, thou shalt not come in hither, thinking David could not come in hither. So the Matthew Henry commentary says, The Jebusites, defiance of David and his forces, they said, Except thou take away the blind and the lame, thou shalt not come in hither. They sent David this provoking message because it is said afterwards, on another occasion, they could not believe that ever an enemy would enter into the gates of Jerusalem. They confided either, one, in the protection of their gods, which David in contempt had called the blind and the lame, and they have eyes to see, not feet to walk by. But say thee, These are the guardians of our city, and except thou take these away, which thou could never do, thou could not come in hither. So think that they constellated images of brass, set up in the recesses of the fort, and entrusted with the custody of the palace, custody of the place. They called their idols their mumiz, or strongholds, and as such they relied on them. Psalms 115 says, Wherefore should the heathen say, Where is now their God? But our God is in the heavens, and he has done whatsoever that he pleased. Their idols are silver and gold, the works of man's hands. They have mouths, but they speak not. Eyes have they, yet they see not. Genesis 15 says, In the same day the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, Unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt to the great river, the river Euphrates. The Kenites, the Kezites, the Kenamites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Raphaims, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Girgashites, and the Jebusites. In fact, Jebusites are listed all over the Bible. You can see in multiple different places in the Old Testament. Joshua 15 says, As for the Jebusites, the inhabitants of Jerusalem, the children of Judah could not drive them out, but the Jebusites dwell the children of Judah at Jerusalem to this day. If you remember our world history, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. There was a flood, killed everybody except for Noah, his wife, his 3 sons and their family. Abraham made a covenant with God. And then later Moses was bringing the people out of Egypt. Moses was supposed to destroy the Jebusites, but he didn't. And now we're talking about David. There's going to be a time at the millennial reign where we're going to live with God. And the 7th week of Daniel is coming very soon. So if you remember, Moses was supposed to take out the Jebusites, and he didn't do it. And now David's dealing with them right now. So David is having to fight against an enemy that should have been defeated over 400 years ago. You know, some people say I should have quit many years ago, but sometimes things happen. People think they should stop drinking years ago, but sometimes things happen. 2 Samuel 5 verse 7. Nevertheless, David took the strongholds of Zion, the same city, the city of David. And David said to that day, Whatsoever goeth up to the gutter, and smite up the Jebusites, and the lame and the blind that are hated of David's soul, he shall be chief and captain. Wherefore they said, The blind and the lame shall come into this house. If you look here at the area of Jerusalem, you get the city of David right down here. Up above that, they have the mosque. And here's the Temple Mount. And here's the Mount of Olives. You can see over here Mount Zion. If you look at the actual part of David, the Temple Mount, you can see down here is the city of David. Here's the Mount of Olives. Here's the Calvary of Golgotha. And you can see here David's Jerusalem, the Central Valley, the Kidron Valley. And this is what it would look like during David's time. 2 Samuel 5:9. So David dwelt in the fort and called the city of David, and David built round it from Millo to inward. And David went on and grew great, and the Lord God of hosts was with him. And Hakram the king of Tyre sent messengers to David, and cedar trees, and carpenters, and masons, and they built David a house. And David perceived that the Lord had established him over king of Israel, and that he has exalted his kingdom for this people for Israel's sake. And David took him more concubines and wives out of Jerusalem, after he was come from Hebron, and there was yet sons and daughters born to David. Now the question is, why did David take more concubines and wives? He already had 3 wives at the time, plus a couple concubines. Why did he need more? Ezekiel 5 says, He that loveth silver should not be satisfied with silver, nor he that loveth abundance shall increase. This is also vanity. You know, sometimes people love money. They love money so much that it consumes them. And it doesn't matter how much money you have, you're always going to want more. You know, we have competitions all over the world called Miss Universe. Guys are always looking at other women because they're just never satisfied. I don't exactly know what it is, but there's always beauty contests all around the world. Happiness is a choice. Being content is also a choice. Satisfaction is also a choice. Bitterness is a choice. And anger is also a choice. Decisions determine your destiny. If you make bad decisions, you're going to have a bad destiny. Sometimes it's cars, sometimes it's video games, sometimes it's alcohol. Sometimes people just do dumb things. Look at this girl here. She's going to be hurting her eye very soon. I really hope this guy doesn't start this chainsaw. Sometimes your decisions are being lazy. Sometimes our decisions lead us to being poor. Sometimes our decisions lead us to being overweight. Sometimes we do bad things like drugs. And sometimes our bad decisions keep us sad and lonely. He that loveth video games shall not be satisfied with video games. You know, it says here, as an average according to the parent survey, adolescent boys are spending around 3 hours a day playing video games. Around 9 or 10 parent surveys said that their children will spend too much time gaming, so much that their daily and family interactions are affected. It's really crazy here because it says that gaming too much sometimes messes with their daily and family interactions. You know, he that loveth sports shall not be satisfied with sports. We have an epidemic, especially around the world, with sports. We love sports. We're consumed with sports. Sometimes we spend hours just watching sports. Here's a survey done in 2004. It says less than 1 hour a day is participating in sports, exercise, or recreation. Almost 1 hour a day is socializing and communicating. We're looking at around 3 hours a day watching television, and about 2 hours a day doing other things. That's a total of almost 6 hours a day, not praising God, basically. You know, he that loveth speed shall not be satisfied with speed. There's a car racing out there. People want to buy fast cars. It says right here, in 2000, a small American car company now has the world's fastest car. Take a look at the American supercar, this Tadara. It set a new record on October 10th, reaching an average speed of more than 316 miles an hour on a 7-mile stretch of Nevada State Route 160. He that loveth a big house shall not be satisfied with a big house. It doesn't matter how big your house is, you always want to have a bigger one. Sometimes people buy something they don't even need. All throughout the Bible it talks about being satisfied. We need to be satisfied, but the question is, what are we being satisfied with? 2 Samuel 5 it taught us how to be satisfied or content, and it's taught throughout God's Word. Look at 1 Timothy 6. Supposing that gain is godliness, from such withdraw thyself. But godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into this world, and is certain we can carry nothing out. And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. Psalm 65. Blessed is the man whom choosest and causest to approach unto thee, that he may dwell in thy courts. And we shall be satisfied with the goodliness of thy house, even in thy holy temple. Psalms 105. The people asked, and he brought quails, and satisfied themselves with the bread of heaven. Proverbs 12. He that tilleth his land shall be satisfied with bread, but he that followeth in vain person is void of understanding. Proverbs 20. Love not sleep, lest thou come to poverty. Open thine eyes, and thou shalt be satisfied with bread. All throughout the Bible it talks about being satisfied as well. David and millions more before and after him could have been satisfied with just one woman. Look at Proverbs 5. Let her be as a loving hind of pleasant roe. Let her breast satisfy thee at all times, and thou ravished always with her love. Those are all singular. But 2 Samuel 5. And David took with him more concubines and wives out of Jerusalem, after he was come from Hebron, and there was yet sons and daughters born to David. And these be the names of that were born unto him in Jerusalem: Samua, Saboa, Nathan and Solomon, Abahar, Elihu, Nahag, Jephah, Elshama, Elada, and Elphedet. It's 11 more kids. But the Philistines heard that they had anointed David king over Israel, and the Philistines came up to seek David. And David heard of it, and went down to the hold. And the Philistines also came and spread themselves in the valley of Rephaim. And David inquired of the Lord, saying, Shall I go up to the Philistines? Wilt thou deliver them into mine hands? And the Lord said unto David, Go up, for I will doubtlessly deliver the Philistines into thine hands. And David came to Baal-Perazim, and David smote them there, and said, The Lord has broke forth mine enemies before me, and in breaches of waters. Therefore he called the name of that place Baal-Perazim. And he left their images, and David and his men burned them. And the Philistines came up yet again, and spread themselves in the valley of Rephaim. And when David inquired of the Lord, he said, Thou shalt not go up, but fetch a compass behind them, and come upon them against the mulberry trees. And let it be that when thou hearest the sound going on the tops of the mulberry trees, that thou shalt bestir themselves, for then the Lord shall go out before thee, and smite the host of the Philistines. And David did so, and the Lord had commanded him, and smote the Philistines from Gerba unto the Gazer. Well guys, that's the video. I appreciate you guys watching. If you have any questions, you can comment below. Also, if you want me to come speak at your church, make sure you send me an email. I'm going to put a couple links on the screen. The bottom right of the screen is going to be the 2 Samuel Bible study. Top left of the screen is going to be the 1 Samuel Bible study. And the bottom left is going to be a video YouTube thinks you're going to like. Make sure you subscribe, like, click the bell, share it on social media, tell your friends about it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have yourself a great day.